Hi sis, I welcome you all back to my channel. I am Aisha. In this video, I'll be showing you how to sew funnel concept with inner bustier. Thank you all for your support. God bless you all. If you are new to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. I have a video on how to draft and cut it. I'll be dropping the link below in the description box. Stay tuned to the end of the tutorial. This is the pattern. I've used the pattern to cut out the main fabric and the lining. This is the back aspect. For this side, I have 4 pieces of it. 2 pieces for the lining and 2 pieces for the main fabric. You add your ½ inch to it all round when cutting it. This is the front aspect. And this is the center front. The center front should be on fold. You add your ½ inch to it all round. This is the inner part of it for the bustier. You add your ½ inch to it all round also. I cut 2 pieces of the lining and 2 pieces of the main fabric. I will be adding stay to the main fabric and the lining. This is the stay that I will be using. And this is the laminated foam that I will be adding for the bustier part of it. I will be adding to this upper part. I will be adding the stay to the fabric. You place it on it this way and use your iron to gum it on it. The stay has front and back. By touching it, you will feel it. The side of the stay that has gum, you face it on the fabric and gum it on it this way. I will be cutting it out so that I will freely place my iron on it to gum it. Same thing applies to other parts. This is it. I've added stay to both the main fabric and the lining. You can see you add your stay to everything. This is the upper part. I add stay to it also. Now I will remove the pin for us to join it together. You notch that center part of the center front at the upper part. This is the center of the front. You pick the side. That's the middle part. You can see you join it with ½ inch downward. And you pick the side also. You join it to this middle part of it also. So one side of it is complete like that. Let me do that. This is it. I've joined it together. You can see. Now I will pick the middle of the other side. You join it to the center of it. And you pick the side also. You join it to the middle aspect also. For us to complete the front aspect. You can see. Same thing applies to the lining. Let me do that. You can see we have the front aspect of it. I've joined both the main fabric and the lining together. This is the lining. Now we need to open the inseam at the back aspect and give it a nice press. This is the back aspect of it. Same thing applies to the back aspect. We have it two pieces at each side. You pick it this way and join it together with ½ inch downward. Same thing applies to the lining also. This is it. I've joined the back aspects together. We have the right aspect and the left aspect for both the lining and the main fabric. I will need to give it a nice press. You open the inseam this way and iron it. This applies to everything. Give this video a thumbs up. Share with your friends. If you are new to my channel, click on the subscribe button. You can see the outcome, how neat it is. Very important, always iron when you are sewing. You open the inseam and give it a nice press. Now I'll pick the front aspect. You pick it this way. I'll use my chalk to create channel on it. You can add as many channel as you want to hit. This is the center part. You can see that's the center. And I will measure and create more channel. This is it. Same thing applies to the other side and the back aspect. This is the back aspect. At this center of the back, I will be adding modesty panel to it. I've cut out the pieces I will be using in creating the channel. It's 2 inches wide. This is it. You fold it into two this way and flip it to the other side after sewing it downward. You can decide to sew it downward and turn it to the other side and insert your boning into it as well, whichever way you find comfortable for you. You fold the 2 inches together this way to make it 1 inch and sew it downward with ½ inch and flip it back this way and place your sewing on it. Make sure your hand is straight when doing this and you are using a matching thread. You push in the edge of the first sewing in this way for it to come out neat. I'll be inserting the boning in. The boning I'm using is 1/2 inch. You insert your boning in this way. Make sure the sizes of the channel can accommodate your boning. You can see this is it. Same thing applies to others. For the front part, I decide to create some channel in form of design to hit. I'll take my measurements from this upper part. You remove the inches, the 6 inches, and I'll stop at the under bust. So from that under bust, I'll create some channel to hit in form of diagonal shape. You can see. You place it this way. I'll stop at this point and cut it. And you flip it to the other side. Same way we sew the other channel. You sew it downward this way. You can see it. Now I will use this one from this upper part to cover it at that down aspect. You sew it and make sure it cover the edge of the other sewing at this down aspect. I'm trying to trim it off a bit. I'll flip it to this other side this way and place sewing on it downward. By the time we place the sewing on it downward, it will cover the edge of that diagonal channel that we create. You can see it. Same thing applies to the other side. I'm done with the channel. You can play with the channel by using it in creating design on your corset. This is the back aspect of it. I'll be joining the main fabric at the side with 1/2 inch. You pick both the front aspects this way. You place it on each other this way and join it with 1/2 inch at the side. This is it. I'm done with it. I've joined it together with 1/2 inch at the side. I'll open the inseam and give it a nice press. For the inner bustier, I've cut the laminated foam with it. This is it. At the center of the joining, you reduce the laminated foam with 1/2 inch at that center, but other side you cut it same size. This is it. I will be joining the main fabric together at the center first. You pick it this way and join it together with 1/2 inch. This is it. You can see the curve. Same thing applies to the lining. After joining, you open the inseam at the center and give it a nice press. This is the laminated foam with the pattern. You can see the cutting. You add to it at the upper part round, but you won't add to it at the down aspect because we will be using zigzag stitch to stitch it together. This is the down aspect of it. You add to the side, you add to the down, but you won't add to the upper part of the down aspect. Now I'll pick it together this way. This is the inner part and this is the outer part. I will be sewing it from the outer part of it. You place it at each other side this way. You place it at each other side and use your zigzag stitch to stitch it together. But if you are using the manual sewing machine, you add the ½ inch to it for the joining. You add your ½ inch to it for the joining when cutting it with the pattern so that you'll be able to join it together. You close it together this way and stitch it downward. You allow the machine to move by itself. Don't draw it when sewing it. This is it. I will still need to stitch it one more time for safety purpose. This is the other side. You pick it same way and stitch it downward. I'm done with both sides. For the main fabric, you open the inseam this way and give it a nice press. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. If you are new to my channel, click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. We have the laminated foam and the main body this way. You can see it. For us to have more structure on it, I will be making use of Regilene on the lining to create bust cage. You place your Regilene on the lining to create bust cage for us to have more structure on it. That first joining, you add your Regilene to it. I'll be making use of this biro to draw out the lines. You shape it all round this way. That's the ½ inch. Your Regilene will not touch this part of the ½ inch. The Regilene you are adding to it will not touch this part of the ½ inch. You can see I shape it all round that way. So I will be adding one Regilene to this upper part and I will draw out 2 lines. I'll be adding more Regilene to it. You can see. I have the 2. For us to secure the sharp edge of our Regilene, you use your paper tape to cover it this way. You can see it. for safety purpose. You add your machine oil to that paper tape after placing it on it this way for it to move freely on the sewing machine. I will be placing sewing on the other side of the boning. You sew both sides of the boning. This is it. I will still need to place this boning at this other side. I'm done with one side of it. This is it. You can see how neat it is. I had Emmy gum at the center of it to gum it together with the main fabric and the lining. I'll be showing you how to do that on this other one. This is the lining. You had your Emmy gum on the laminated foam at the center. At the center of the bust. You won't add it to the edges of the bust because we are still going to trim the edges out. You place the lining on the laminated foam and use your iron to gum it together. I will be joining the lining and the main fabric together. You place it together this way and use your office pin to hold it down. I will be placing sewing on the upper part. You follow the shape all round. Before sewing it, I will advise you use your pencil or biro to draw out the shape at this upper part for us to have a better shape. This is it. I will need to trim off the laminated foam to the minimum. You trim it off to the minimum. After trimming the laminated foam, you notch it all round this way. And after notching, you trim it off a bit. The inseam, you trim the inseam off a bit. You can see. You remove the pin and turn it to the front aspect. I will place sewing on the down aspect with 1/2 inch. This is it. I've cut out the pieces that I will use in piling it at the down aspect. I'm making use of 2 inches wide for it. I will use it to pile it at the down aspect. For us to have a good finishing, you place it together this way and place the one we use in piling it on it at the back aspect. You sew it downward. Make sure the center meets. You place it together this way at the center. No space in between the two. And sew it downward. This is it. You can see. And we need to trim off the excess a bit at this down aspect because of the folding. You flip it to the front aspect this way and fold it. Make sure you are using a matching thread and your hand is straight when doing this. I'm cutting out the excess at the side. This is it. I'll pick the lining for the front aspect. This is the lining of the front aspect. We'll be placing it on it this way. You place it on it on the front aspect of the lining. I will advise when cutting the main body, you make use of 8.5 or 9 inches for the depth of the neck. I notice the depth of the neck is too deep at the front aspect. It did not cover the sewing line on the bustier at the center part. It covered it at the side, but at the center part, the sewing line of the bustier is showing. So I will advise you make use of 9 or 8.5 on yours. I'll be placing it this way on the body and sew it at the side. You make sure the center point is equal. I use my pencil to indicate the 1/2 inch that I will use in joining it. I will join it with the 1/2 inch at that side. I've sewn it. This is it. I'll be placing the back aspect of the lining on it this way to join it together at the side. This is it. I've joined it with 1/2 inch at the side. I will need to trim off the bustier side because we will still need to add our bias on this aspect at this side of the lining. That's where we will be placing our boning. I will be placing bias there. You can see I've ironed it. I've placed the bias on the side of the lining. I've cut out these pieces 4 inches wide. I'll be using it for the modesty panel at the back aspect. We'll place it at the back aspect this way. First, I will need to add stay to it. After adding the stay, I will fold it with half inch at each side. That's the sewing allowance. This is it. I've add stay to it and I've fold it at both sides. You can see. For us to join it to it, we'll be placing it from the back aspect and flip it to the front aspect. But before then, I will need to join both the lining and the main fabric together at the down aspect. First, you pick it this way and make sure everything is equal at the down aspect. You use your office pin to hold it together this way. Make sure everything is equal. I will be sewing it with 1/2 inch all round. This is it. I've sewn it. After sewing, you notch it all round for it to lay. You trim it a bit. You remove the office pin and turn it to the front aspect and give it a nice press for the shape to come out well. Click on the join button by supporting this channel. God bless you as you do that. Have ironed it. This is it. Now I will be inserting the boning. I'm making use of plastic boning of 1/2 inch. For us to secure the boning, you use your lighter to burn it at the edge for it not to injure. You insert it into it this way on the side of the lining. You cut it at this upper part and secure it also at this upper part. You reduce the length of the channel you create by 1/2 inch on the boning because of the joining allowance. You can see this is it. Same thing applies to the other side on the lining, and you insert your boning as well on the main fabric also. This is it. I've inserted the boning into it. I didn't insert it in all the channel, but you can decide to insert yours in all the channel, but I make sure I insert it in the area that are very important: the center, the side, the back aspects. Now we need to sew the upper parts. You pick the upper part of it, the neck aspect, and use your office pin to hold it together. Make sure everything is equal on both the lining and the main fabric. Give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends. If you are new on this channel, click on the subscribe button. I will use 1/2 inch to sew it all round. I've sewn it all round and I've notched it after sewing. You remove the pin and turn it to the front aspect. After turning, you set your boning. This is it. I'll be picking the back aspect of it. You pick both aspects together this way and use your office pin to hold it. Same thing applies to the other side. Make sure everything is laid and equal. You pick the one for the modesty panel. From the back aspect, you stitch it downward this way and flip it to the other side. You leave ½ inch at the upper part and at the down aspect that we use in folding it in. I will need to iron it first. Let me do that. I've ironed it and I've joined the modesty panel to it at the back aspect. We need to trim out the excess of the joining allowance a bit and flip it to the other side this way. I'll cut it and leave ½ inch at the upper part and at the down aspect. You fold it in at this upper part this way and use your office pin to hold it down. You fold it in at this down aspect too. Whatever left on it, you divide it by ½ inch to create channel on it. You create your channel, you sew it downward. Let me do that. This is it. I'm done with it. I've added eyelets to it also. You can see on both sides. We need to insert our boning into it. I will be adding the boning to the last channel at the center and to the first channel on the modesty panel. Same way we did on the body. You can see you add your channel to both sides and close it at that down aspect. This is the end of the tutorial. If you find this video helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you have any question or suggestion, you can drop it in the comment section below. If you are new on this channel, click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Watch out for my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.